I thought the seat was empty. I do hope I didn't hurt you. There was the most awful man back there smoking a vile cigar. This is non-smoking, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank heaven for that. After last night, I don't think my head would stand it.
See your tickets, please. Thank you, miss. Oh, you shouldn't be here, sir.
Well, this is first class, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, in that case, I'm all right.
Second-class ticket here, sir.
British Rail doing it again. Selling second-class tickets at first-class prices.
Yes, I'm very sorry, sir. That'll be £3.46 extra, sir.
You wouldn't have change for a £50 note, would you?
Yes, sir.
In that case, don't bother, because I haven't got one. I don't suppose British Rail would settle for £3.28p? 29p? I don't suppose they would. I hate to presume on our short acquaintance, but have you any change? Well, there you are. That'll do. That's stamp. Thank you. £3.29p plus 17p. Well, legal tender, old boy, legal tender. Send a postcard to your mother.
Mr. Isabel, may I?
Oh.
Thank you. Could you let us have just a little bit of your smile?
Oh, not at this time in the morning.
Oh, yeah, he is. Good morning, Johnny. How are you?
We've been looking for you everywhere, Johnny. Simply everywhere.
Excuse me, please. Do you mind?
Oh, of course, I'm so sorry. Come along, girls. Come on, Jessie. Come on,
Bye,
Alice.
Johnny.
I'll see you later, Johnny. Bye.
See you, Johnny.
My, aren't they bright this morning?
That's great. Now, great. I wonder, could you let me just have a little bit more of your smile, remember?
I don't believe it. Can't be the same girl. Who is she? Do you know her?
She's Lord Maclaidlaw's stepdaughter. Lay off, Johnny. Besides, she's not up your alley.
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm getting a little bit bored with people in my alley. Introduce me to her, will you?
Certainly not.
If you won't do it, then I'll do it myself.
Come on, they're going.
Nina, may we come in?
Yes. Come round.
May I introduce Mr. John Aysgarth?
How do you do?
How do you do?
We were passing by and we saw you in the window.
And Johnny insisted on meeting you.
Why?
Well, I'm told the sight of a really eligible male is a rare treat in this part of the country.
Oh, isn't Johnny terrible?
Hadn't you better hurry?
Hurry about what?
Well, you don't want to be late for church, do you?
Oh, you came to take me to church.
Well, well, I hadn't really thought
If
about
you'd
it.
like to come, of course.
How very kind of you. I think I will come. Excuse me a moment.
Well, girls, we better sit down.
rushing to?
Oh, I'm off to church, Mother.
Oh, but I thought we weren't...
No, I've changed my mind.
Oh, I see. Shall I go with you?
No, I'm going with the Barhams.
The Barhams? I thought you didn't like them.
Oh, I loathe them.
You're not really going to church, are you?
Certainly I am.
No, you're not. You're coming for a walk with me.
Don't be ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll toss you for it. Heads you do, tails you don't.
Mother.
What did you think I was trying to do? Kill you? Nothing less than murder would justify such a violent self-defense.
Let me go.
Oh, I'm just beginning to understand. You thought I was trying to kiss you?
Weren't you?
Of course not. I was merely reaching round you to fix your hair.
What's wrong with my hair?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. It would have been extremely discourteous of me to bring the subject up myself.
I may seem provincial, but frankly, I don't understand men like you. You always give me the impression you're laughing at me.
No, I give you my word. But your hair is all wrong. But it has such wonderful possibilities that for a moment I became a passionate hairdresser.
What's wrong with it?
Let me show you. Now, let me see. No, don't do that,
Why not?
because your occipital mapillary is quite beautiful.
What's a occipital mapillary?
That.
I didn't ask you to touch it.
You look quite good. Almost as good as you did on your horse.
It must be quite a novelty compared to most of the women you're photographed with.
Well, I must be quite a novelty compared with your horse.
I don't know. If I ever got a bit between your teeth, I don't think I'd have any trouble in handling you at all.
Oh, well, suppose just as you thought you had me under perfect control, I turned around, neighed, and kissed you.
Think you've done enough fiddling with my hair for one day?
Oh, you don't look very good like that. You look more like a monkey with a bit of mirror. What does your family call you? Monkey face? Oh, I still think my way was best.
I should go. I'll be late for lunch. Besides, if I walk in both late and beautiful, my father might have a stroke. Thank you for walking me home.
My pleasure. I'll be back for you at 3.
No, really, I can't go out this afternoon.
Oh, yes, you can.
No, really, I have to make some calls with my mother.
Liar.
Really?
Don't forget. 3 o'clock.
No, Lena will never marry. She's not the marrying sort. Anyway, she's no need to worry. There'll be enough to take care of her for the rest of her life.
Yes, well, I suppose you're right, dear. She's rather spinsterish.
Well, what's wrong with that? Nothing terrible about being an old maid. Not all women are alike, you know. Lena has intellect, fine, solid character. Come on, I'm getting hungry.
Hello. Sorry I'm late. Could I have some quite rare, please, Mr. Jenner?
Yes, miss?
What kept you so long at church, dear?
I didn't go to church, Mother. I went for a walk.
Thank you.
With a man.
A man?
Yes. His name is Johnny Aysgarth.
Johnny Aysgarth?
Well, is that Tom Aysgarth's boy?
How did you meet him? Pity he turned out so wild. Rough luck on Tom. What's this, eh? Horseradish? I didn't think horseradish was in season now. It's not out of a bottle, is it?
Of course not. Why do you say Johnny Aysgarth is wild, Father?
Well, he was turned out of some club for cheating at cards, wasn't he?
I don't know. I didn't ask him.
What's he doing down here?
He's staying at Pensay's. I shouldn't have thought Jeffrey Middleham would have invited him there if he had been turned out of a club for cheating.
Well, perhaps it wasn't cards. May have been some married woman or unmarried mother, a pop singer. Johnny. I don't know. Good heavens, I can't be expected to know every detail about everybody, can I?
Anyway, I'm going out with him this afternoon. He's calling for me at 3 o'clock.
Excuse me. Telephone call, miss.
Hello? Yes. Oh, hello, Johnny. You can't. Yes, I understand. Thank you for calling. No, I'd love to the next time you come down again. Bye. I've been trying to reach London 235-1982. Could you try it for me, please? A couple of hours. Disconnected. Is Mr. John Aysgarth there? Oh, he isn't. Well, I thought perhaps. Aren't you expecting him down for the hunt ball? But this is... No, it doesn't matter. I'll call again.
Lena? Well, it's 7 o'clock. Oh. Aren't you going to wear your new dress?
No, Mother, I'm not in the mood. My head's splitting. I'm not going to go to the ball, Mother.
Not going? Well, what will your father say? Perhaps an aspirin. You haven't got a temperature, have you? Well, where's your aspirin? I'll get it.
It's in the bathroom. Come in.
This has just come for you.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Chen.
Here you are, sweetheart. The aspirin.
What for?
Your headache.
Oh, that's gone. Tell Father I'll be down in 2 seconds.
Oh, I simply will never understand you.
Lena,
Yes, Reggie?
do you want to dance?
All right.
That's not Lena dancing with Weatherby, is it?
Yes, it is.
By Jove. Didn't recognize her at first.
Didn't recognize her myself.
I beg your pardon, my lord.
Huh?
There's a gentleman at the door outside who says he's with your party. He has no card. The name is Aysgarth.
Aysgarth? Must be a mistake.
Lord Macleodlaw,
Yes?
I'm John Aysgarth.
I'm I'm sorry, Mr. Racegrath, but I don't recall inviting you to join my party.
How awkward. I thought you had. Otherwise, I would never have come all the way from London.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Well, I suggest you say something, sir, before you embarrass this poor man to death. Hello, Lena. Sorry I'm late.
Hello, Johnny. Johnny!
Isn't this our dance? Hello, monkey face.
Hello.
Hello, monkey face.
Hello, Johnny.
Johnny, we can't do this. Where are we going?
Which is your car?
Don't be ridiculous.
And where are the keys?
They're in it.
Oh, come on, quick, before you catch cold. Nice car. Have you ever been kissed in a car?
Of course.
Did you like it?
It varied.
Well, would you like to try it again?
Yes.
Well, the first woman I ever met who says yes when she meant yes.
Well, what do the others say?
Hanged if I know anything but yes.
But they kiss you.
Usually.
Have you been involved with many women?
Well, the other night when I couldn't sleep, I started to count them. You know, the way one counts sheep jumping over a fence. I think I got to 79 before I passed out.
Are you always as frank with them as you are with me?
No,
Why are you frank with me? Am I different?
not exactly. I'm honest because with you, I think it's the best way to get results.
I hope I'm not saying the wrong thing. But I think I love you.
No, you're not saying the wrong thing, monkey face.
Where are we going?
I don't know, anywhere. I think I'm falling in love with you, and I don't quite like it. That's why I stayed away from you for a week. I was afraid of you. Well, I didn't think it would happen like this.
Neither did I. I pictured an entirely different kind of man.
Me too.
We're coming to my house. Would you like to stop in for a drink? There's no one home but Mr. and Mrs. Jenner.
No, no. I'm going to get you back to that ball as fast as I can.
Why did you stop?
I'm sure I don't know. Well, come on then. Get out.
Why don't you sit down and I'll pour you a drink? I think you need one.
You must be made of iron.
Why?
How can you be so calm? Look at me, my hand shaking. Least you could do is faint or something.
I know I'm rather surprised at myself. I think it's because for the first time in my life I know what I want. Are you really serious about me?
I'm afraid I am.
I think I do need that drink.
What are you doing here? I say, old boy, isn't that going a bit too far? He doesn't like me.
I know.
He doesn't trust me from here to there, do you? Well, you're right. Stop it before it's too late. Tell her everything you're thinking. That I'm no good to her. That I can only bring her unhappiness. Well, go on, man. Warn her. Speak up. Looks like it's your last chance. Can you hear him?
Very distinctly.
He's not exaggerating a thing, darling. It's all true. Every word he isn't saying.
I love him, Father.
Did you see him jump?
I did.
On your own head be it. What's this? Sir, I have the honor of asking for your daughter's hand in marriage.
Well, what do you think of that?
You heard him that time, didn't you?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Poor monkey face.
Is everything satisfactory, monsieur?
Oh, very satisfactory, thank you.
Perfect.
What time do we get to Paris?
Well, monsieur, we left Venice at 11 o'clock. We should arrive 7 minutes past 9.
Oh, that's too soon.
Too soon?
I want this to last forever.
Just pop that down there, would you? Well, Mrs. Aysgarth, how do you like it? Because if you don't like it, blame it all on Mr. Bailey here. He rented the place while we were on honeymoon. He arranged the whole thing. But if you do like it...
I adore it. It's terrific. It's wonderful.
In that case, you're talking to the right man. I engage, Mr. Bailey.
Johnny, you're a genius.
I shall have to be getting along now, Mr. Aysgarth, so what shall we do about the bill?
Well, why don't you drop it on that pretty little table on your way out, Bailey, old boy?
Oh, Johnny. I never dreamt we'd have such a gorgeous house.
Well, it's not exactly ours. It's rented.
Are you sure you can afford it?
I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name.
Sarah Phillips, Mr. Aysgarth.
Sarah. Darling, this is Sarah. Sarah's going to be my secretary.
Hello.
Pleased to meet you, Mrs. Aysgarth.
Would you be kind enough to make us some tea?
Of course.
What do you think of Sarah?
She seems nice enough. What is she going to do? Are you sure you can afford?
Follow me. Now, where are we?
At the hunt ball.
Where else?
Monte Carlo.
And
Nice, and Positano, and Pompeii, and Venice, and Paris.
I'm sorry to interrupt. There is a lot of mail on your desk, Mr. Ayscough, but this came express yesterday.
Thank you, Sarah.
Is it bad news, dear?
Oh, it's from an old friend of mine. Stupid fellow. He wants £10,000. You couldn't spare 10,000, could you, darling?
10,000? What does he want it for?
Hanged if I know. Probably because I borrowed it from him.
He borrowed it. Why?
Because I was going on honeymoon with the loveliest girl in the world, and I wanted her to be happy. Was she happy?
But didn't you have any money of your own?
Not a penny.
Well, I had the impression that...
Oh, now, don't worry your darling little head about that today of all days. I'll pay old Henry somehow.
But I don't understand. Are you broke?
Monkey face. I've been broke all my life.
Well, why didn't you tell me? Every time I brought the subject up, you... Oh, Johnny, why did you take such an extravagant house?
Well, I didn't think you wanted to live in a shack. A girl like you was going to come into plenty of money someday,
No, wait a minute. I can't get this into my head. Were you thinking of my inheritance when you... I don't know what to say.
Oh, now, darling, really. Isn't it silly to spend the best years of our lives waiting? Why not be comfortable now?
Oh, Johnny. I'm just beginning to understand you. You're a baby. Now, I know you didn't marry me for my money. You could have done much better elsewhere. Besides, my income could never pay for all of this. Never.
Well, what about your father?
I couldn't possibly ask my father. Or my mother. You saw how restrained she was at the station. Besides, you wouldn't want to live off your wife's income, would you?
Of course not, darling.
Well, then. Answer me, Johnny.
Well, I suppose if the worst comes to the worst, if there's no other way out of it, well, I suppose I'll have to,
What?
Well, borrow some more. I haven't touched old Middleham yet. He ought to be good for a month or two's housekeeping.
I think you must be mad.
Monkey face. Marrying you was the sanest thing I ever did in my life. Oh, give it to me. Much too heavy for a pretty little girl like you.
Thank you.
Well, clear the table. Would you like to join us for some tea?
No, I don't think so, thank you.
There's going to be no more borrowing, Johnny.
Well, what else is there to do?
You're going to have to go to work.
Work?
Yes, work.
What, do you mean put on old clothes and go out with a shovel?
Don't be flippant.
Well, what do you mean? Well, I'm afraid you're a bit of a dreamer, darling. Let's be practical about this. Do you know the statistics on unemployment? Do you realize that in order to be a carpenter or electrician or a plumber, oh, darling, you haven't been around. Why, they have to be apprentices first, and even after that. Oh, darling.
There are all sorts of jobs, Johnny.
Oh, well, I'm broad-minded. Let's have some tea and talk it over, We're going to make out a list of jobs. Might be fun. I'll get a pencil and paper. Excuse me, darling.
Hello? Oh, hello, Mother. Oh, Mother, it is the most wonderful house. Would you tell Father how badly I felt about... Hold on a minute while I tell Johnny. Father's sending us a wedding present. Mother told him how happy I looked at... Oh, Johnny, I can't tell you what this means to me.
Me too.
Yes, Father. Yes.
Oh, go on, ask him when he's sending it.
Hold on, Father. It's coming over right away by messenger.
Well, invite him over to dinner. And ask him if he'd like to play a round of golf someday. And if you can slip it in, just tell him we're in the throes of job hunting. Doesn't hurt to impress the old boy, eh?
Really, Johnny, you are the limit. How can you be so cheerful about something you should be ashamed of? What, Father? Yes. Johnny and I were just having a sober and comprehensive discussion on that very subject. Well, yes, he has several ideas about the kind of job he'd like, and several good opportunities.
There's a delivery here from Lord McLeodlaw.
Well, bring it in.
Hold on a minute, Father. It's just arrived. I think I know what it is. And if it is what I think it is, oh, you'll be thrilled, Johnny. Oh, it is. How wonderful of him. These chairs have been in Father's family for generations.
How many more, for heaven's sake?
Only these two.
Oh, he sent us both of them. These are Father's most precious possessions.
You don't say.
These will be our first heirlooms, to be handed down to our children and then to their children.
Well, that's the thing to do with it all, right?
Oh, Father, you're so good to me. You make me want to cry. What was that? Oh, you've made me very, very happy. You've made Johnny very happy, too. Hold on a minute. He wants to speak to you. Say something nice. These chairs really belong in a museum.
Hello, sir. Yes, but really, shouldn't you have sent them to a museum? Well, naturally, we're thrilled. Who wouldn't be? What's that? A job? Well, Lena and I were just talking about that. Yes, I have some excellent opportunities. What are they? Well, I've had a letter from my cousin, Captain Melbeck. Yes, he is a splendid chap. Yes, but he wants someone to run his estates. I thought I'd take the job myself. Well, I'm glad you approve. Yes, we'll get together soon. I'll leave that up to Lena, shall I? Yes, goodbye, sir.
That was a fib about Captain Melbeck, wasn't it?
Was it?
Have you had this letter all along?
I have.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because, darling, I never dreamt I'd be using it. Any more than I ever dreamt I'd be receiving these two beautiful chairs.
Okay, Kathy. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hello. Funny place old Johnny's got here. What was it? Must have cost a packet to do it up.
Who are you?
I'm Vicky Thwaite. You must be old Johnny's wife.
Yes, I am.
Didn't he ever tell you about me?
Beaky. Oh, you're Beaky.
That's what they used to call me at school. Didn't Johnny tell you I was coming?
I've heard so much about you.
Oh, Johnny told me about you, too. I ran into him at Newbury races last week.
The races?
Yes, I put my foot in it as usual, have I? I mean, didn't he tell you?
Johnny has a job. He couldn't possibly have been at the races. Besides, he's given up betting.
Oh, he has he? Don't you believe it? Not Johnny. Fat Chance. You mustn't mind that. That's what makes him Johnny. Besides, he thinks you're smashing. She does. I think so, too, what?
Won't you sit down, Mr. Thwaite?
Beaky. I see why not. Anything wrong?
Yes, there were 2 Empire chairs here this morning before I left.
Chairs? Just a bed, have they?
Apparently.
Were they expensive?
Yes, they were museum pieces.
Oh, that Johnny will be the death of me yet. Don't you understand?
No, I don't.
I bet you 20 to 1 old Johnny has sold them.
Sold them? What for?
Well, for money, of course. Chap has to pay his racing debts, hasn't he? Old Johnny lost a packet at Newbury last week, I can tell you. Those bookies don't trust a chap for long. Not a chap like Johnny, anyway.
I don't believe you. I don't believe a word you say.
Put my foot in it again, have I? My dear, you mustn't take it so seriously. After all, it's Johnny. Wonderful chap, Johnny. None like him. But then I didn't tell you that.
He couldn't have sold them. He wouldn't without asking me.
Lena!
Here he comes now. Don't tell him I've said a word. Now, if you want to see old Johnny at his very best, just say something about chairs.
Lena!
He doesn't need more than 1 second to invent the most howling lie you ever heard. I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
Vicky!
Johnny, how are you?
Glad to see you. My. And how's my little monkey face? Hmm? Well, what's the matter, darling?
Nothing, why?
You sure?
Your wife seems to be missing some chairs, old bean.
Vicky, your pipe's not lit. Let me get you a match.
Thanks.
You are, Vicky. Catch.
Thanks. About the chairs, old bean.
Hmm?
The missing chairs.
Oh, yes, the chairs. Well, I imagine the American came to collect them this morning.
What American?
Well, didn't I tell you about him, darling? Well, how stupid of me. Well, he dropped by about a week ago. Friend of Melbeck's. I think you were out riding.
Go on about the chairs, old bean.
Well, he admired the chairs. Antiques expert he was. He said they might be worth 2,000 apiece. He wanted them for an exhibition. Well, can you imagine? Anyone would agree to that.
I wouldn't.
Oh. Wouldn't you really, darling? Well, that never occurred to me. As a matter of fact, I told him that you would.
Why didn't you mention it to me?
I'm sorry, darling. I thought I had.
Well, that's all right. If they're gone, they're gone.
They're gone, all right.
Shall we get ready for dinner?
You are an angel.
Hold on a minute. He said they were worth 2,000 apiece.
That's right.
Let's have a look at the receipt.
Well, he'll send it along.
I bet you 100 quid you wouldn't dare let your wife pick up the phone and ask old Melbeck, or whatever his name is, if he ever even saw this American.
You're implying that my husband is a liar, Mr. Thwaite?
Oh, now, monkey face. Don't mind Vicky. He's just joking.
I prefer jokes on other subjects. You're staying for dinner, are you?
Dinner? Johnny invited me to spend the weekend with you. Unless you're throwing me out.
Johnny's friends are always welcome, as long as they remain his friends. Hello, Isabel.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Admiring your display?
It is nice, isn't it?
Well, we have to do well by our only local celebrity.
You going my way?
Yes, I am.
How's Johnny?
Oh, he's fine. I just bought your latest for him. He's an ardent admirer. I don't think there's one of your stories he hasn't read.
What's the matter?
Vicky, I owe you an apology.
Eh? Good. I mean, what for?
I'll explain it to you later. I'm afraid I've done you an injustice.
An injustice? Well, whatever it is, I forgive you. You seem a bit hot under the collar. Not angry, are you? Don't answer. You are. Must be about old Johnny.
Will you excuse
My
me?
dear, you mustn't be angry with Johnny. It's a waste of time. Now, if you want to get cross with me, that's a different thing altogether. I mean, I annoy everyone, always did. But not Johnny. No, you mustn't really.
Would you excuse me?
Lena! Vicky! Sarah, where are you? Where is everybody? Hello. Don't move. Just stay exactly where you are. I want to see the expressions on your faces. Sarah!
What have we got there, old bean?
You'll find out soon enough, Vicky. This is a red letter day. Sarah! Sarah! Darling, what have we got to drink in the house?
Gin, brandy, champagne, everything.
Sarah, bring the lot. Stand aside, Vicky. Stand aside. Darling, do you remember that necklace that you admired in the shop window in Bond Street? It's yours. And here. Oh, no, that's for Sarah. Oh, Vicky, little present for you.
What is it?
It's a secret.
Shooting stick.
The finest money can buy. Now, darling, remember this? I saw the hungry look that you gave it the last time we were in London. It's yours.
But, Johnny, I don't understand. Why did you do all this?
Oh, now, darling, don't be angry. Oh, I got a little present for myself. Do you mind?
Nice stick. Good quality, eh? Oh, eh? Well done.
But, Johnny, you still haven't told us what this is all about.
Yeah, what's it all mean, old bean?
Well, my friends, I have the pleasure of announcing that the Goodwood Cup was run today, and I happen to have backed the winner. A 10-to-1 shot, and I had £4,000 on him.
Good God, 10 to 1, that's £40,000.
Well, Vicky, that's amazing.
What, old bean?
Well, the way you worked that out so quickly.
What up?
That sum.
Pulling my leg, old bean.
Darling, what's happened to your tongue? Oh, I suppose you disapprove of my betting.
Not with £40,000 in her lap, she doesn't.
Oh, come on, darling. Smile. I know I've been naughty, I suppose. But look, it's all for you.
There you are. That's Johnny.
Come on, darling. Smile.
Johnny, where did you get the £4,000?
I say, old girl, that's not a very tactful question.
Where did you get it?
You know very well there wasn't any American. I got it for the chairs, of course.
You sold the chairs to gamble your money on a horse?
Well, not exactly. You see, I owed the bookies some money, but it's an ancient story. Oh, you know how bookies are.
What did I tell you?
See, I got the 4,000 to pay him off, but then along came this hot tip. Yeah, come on, darling, smile. Vicky, can you make her smile?
I could leave. Would that do it?
Wait. I forgot. This is a receipt from a certain shop for a certain pair of chairs, paid in full. They'll deliver within the hour. Ah, look, she's smiling.
So she is.
Oh, Johnny.
Well done, old bean. Sarah's done her stuff. What about celebrating? Come on, old bean, time for a beaker.
Little present for you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Haysgarth.
Suits you.
This is yours. And yours. Time for a toast.
Hey, Vicky, that's alcohol.
Oh, Johnny, just this once.
You know you're allergic.
One won't hurt.
It's up to you. Monkey face, I drink to the last bet on the last horse that will ever be made by Johnny Aysgarth.
The last bet, old bean.
Johnny, some water.
It won't help. I've seen this happen before. It's no use, darling. It'll either kill him or it'll go away by itself.
Sorry, old bean.
One of these days, it will kill him.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Aysgarth.
Is Mr. Aysgarth in?
Mr. Aysgarth? Why, no, he isn't.
When do you expect him?
I really couldn't say. Perhaps you'd like to talk to Captain Melbeck?
Yes, I would, very much.
Mrs. Aysgarth is downstairs to see you. I'll show her right up. You come this way. Mrs. Aysgarth.
What a pleasure to see you.
Good afternoon.
Do sit down.
Captain Melbeck, I don't mean to impose, but as you're Johnny's cousin as well as his employer, I wanted to talk to you. I'm very worried about him.
I can understand that. But on the other hand, I told him I wouldn't prosecute.
What on earth are you talking about?
How does he get away with it? What reason did he give you when I discharged him?
When did you discharge him?
6 weeks ago.
Captain Milbeck, I don't have a very keen sense of humor. If this is a joke, I wish you'd tell me.
It's not funny to me either. We had an unexpected audit about 6 weeks ago, and the account showed a deficit of £20,000. When I looked into Johnny's records, I'm terribly sorry. He should have told you.
That's perfectly all right. And you said you wouldn't prosecute?
Not for the time being. I shall give him every opportunity to replace the money.
Is Mr. Aysgarth home yet?
No, Mrs. Aysgarth. I'm most terribly sorry.
Oh, so you know.
So you've heard?
Yes, I've heard. Even Sarah knew. Everyone except me, apparently.
I'm so sorry, darling. I'm terribly sorry. I know how close you and your father were. I spoke to the doctor. It was a heart attack. He died instantly. He wouldn't have suffered. Anyway, your mother wants you to come home at once.
And my dear sister Emily Scudamore, I bequeath an annuity of £10,000 for the duration of her lifetime. To my niece, Miss Elsie Chilling, the sum of £50,000. To my two dear cousins, Robert and Jane Atwood, £5,000 each. The residue of my estate, my house, and all the property contained therein, I leave to my beloved wife, Martha, with the wish that she continue the present allowance of £10,000 a year to my stepdaughter, Lena. Also to my stepdaughter, Lena, and her husband, John Aysgarth, I bequeath the portrait of myself, painted by the distinguished Sir Joshua Nettlewood.
I think I need a drink.
I'll get it for you, dear.
No, I'll get it myself. It's in the study, isn't it? You win, old boy. Lena,
Yes, dear.
do you ever have any regrets that you married me?
Why do you ask that?
Well, it's pretty obvious that your father would have left you a great deal more than his portrait if you'd been anybody else but Mrs. John Aysgarth.
What about you? Have you any regrets?
I want nothing more than to spend the rest of my life with you. If you were to die before me,
Yes, if I were to die before you.
How do you feel?
I couldn't stop loving you if I tried.
Have you tried?
Yes, once.
When?
When I found out you'd lost your job with Captain Melbeck.
How long have you known?
Since last Friday.
Who told you?
Captain Melbeck. I met him.
Did he tell you why?
No. Suppose you tell me, Johnny.
Oh, well, we just didn't get along. Quite nice here. Shall we stop and have a look at the sea?
Why didn't you get along with him, Johnny?
Oh, I don't know. He's a bit of an old fogey, you know. I suppose my ideas were too daring for him. Monkey face, I've always had a notion that the secret of success is to start at the top. You think I'm talking out of my hat, don't you? Well, I'm not. The way to make money is to think big. Just look at all this land, for instance. Why isn't something done about it? If I could get planning permission, I could start a development here. If I had £100,000, or even 200,000, just imagine.
All you need is 200,000 pounds.
Oh, maybe 300,000. The extra 100,000 wouldn't hurt a bit. You see, Vicky, this is the ground plan.
Wonderful, old bean. We can put the hotel there. There.
Mm-hmm. And then down below here, we can build the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Hello! What's going on here?
Monkey face, we're organizing a real estate company, and we're about to buy up the most beautiful piece of land right by the sea.
What a view, what sun, what air.
And we're going to sell part of it at a profit.
Well, yes, but all this would need financing, wouldn't it?
Of course.
Have you found someone to put up the money?
Well, of course.
Who?
Me.
Oh, I see.
Well, the idea is mine, but the money is Beaky's. And the corporation, well, Vicky borrows against some securities in Paris, and then we issue stocks. Let me show you, dear. Now, the company's going to be in my name.
Yes,
Look,
but...
darling. Let me show you how simple it is.
Does Beaky understand it?
Well, perfectly. Think?
Excuse me, Captain Melbeck is on the telephone for you, Mr. Aysgarth.
Thank you, Sarah. I'll take it in the study. Excuse me, Vicky.
All right, old bean.
Vicky, explain it to me, would you?
Yes. Well, you see, my dear girl, I say I rather like this feeling, big business and all that kind of thing.
George, I keep telling you not to worry. I've got something on now that'll make it certain I can pay you back within a couple of weeks.
You see, we buy up this land, and then we sell part of it. That gives us 100% profit in no time. Then on the other part, we build something or other.
From whom do you buy the land? How much does it cost? To whom do you sell it?
It shouldn't be difficult, should it?
Beaky, when are you going to grow up?
You're scolding me.
Well, you need scolding.
Oh, do I?
Yes, you do.
Just down the corner.
You're not being fair to Johnny.
It's a bit thick. When he's chairman of the whole bloody thingamajig. Gets a salary, writes out his own checks.
That's exactly what I mean.
Well, what's wrong about that?
Beaky, why don't you go and get ready for dinner? Beaky's staying with us for a couple of days, darling.
All right, old bean. See you at dinner.
Look here, what right have you to interfere in my affairs?
Oh, I wasn't. I was only...
You were only what?
I was only trying to tell Beaky that he shouldn't leave everything to you. That if something went wrong, he should take some responsibility too. It's not as if you were both experienced businessmen.
What the devil do you know about business?
Nothing. I was only...
Suppose Beaky had taken you seriously. You could have ruined the whole scheme. Do you realize that?
But if the plan is no good,
That's my business, not yours. If I say it's good, it's good. I'm going through with this deal, and I don't want any interference from you or anyone else. Is that clear?
Yes, that's clear.
Hello, monkey face.
You startled me. I didn't hear you coming.
I thought you might like to know. I'm calling off the real estate plan.
Why? What happened?
Nothing happened.
Does Beaky know about it?
No, not yet.
Why are you doing it?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps the land isn't any good. Who knows? Or perhaps I don't like the idea of risking Beaky's money. Or perhaps it's just a stiff job and I'm too lazy.
Are you still angry about last night?
No, I'm not angry.
Are you sure? I couldn't sleep at all last night. You'd never spoken so sharply to me before. And I was afraid.
Afraid of what?
I was afraid you stopped loving me.
No, monkey face. I'm not angry. And I love you very much.
D-O-U-B-T. Doubt. Every time I play Scrabble, I can only make three-letter words. F-U-L. Doubtful. How did our ball go? Personally, old Bean, I don't see what's wrong with the scheme, and if you say there's no point in going ahead with it, then don't let's go ahead. I still don't understand why we have to go all the way out there to look at it. My turn?
Because, Beaky, I won't be responsible for calling the whole thing off without first proving to you that it's no good.
Oh, personally, old Bean, if you say it's no good, that satisfies me. After all, you discovered the land. It was your idea. Hang it all, if a fella gets an idea, and they jolly well ought to follow it up.
Nevertheless, you must go up there tomorrow morning and take a look.
Why are you so insistent?
I told you. I won't be responsible.
That's a long one. I say, old girl, there's no such word. Do you have an hour? Besides, I don't want to go up there in the morning. It will be nasty and cold and wet.
Now, Beaky.
Well, if we do have to go, what time should we have to start? If I had an ER, I could make that murderer.
I'd say the earlier the better. About 7 o'clock. There won't be so much traffic on the roads.
That's a bit pig's tail.
Pig's tail?
Too early. Too early.
Is Mr. Aysgarth having breakfast?
No, Mrs. Aysgarth. He wouldn't wait. He said he would have some on the road. He left about 2 hours ago with Mr. Thwaite.
That ought to do it. Put the plug in now.
How's that all been? Hello, Lena.
Hello, darling. Well. What's all this? I've only been away a few hours.
It seems like 1,000 years.
Seems like that to me, too.
Shut up, Vicky. It was nothing.
Nothing? I came very close to losing my life. You call that nothing?
You nearly lost your life?
Came that close to it.
Let's change the subject, shall we?
No, Vicky, go on. I want to hear.
Well, there we were on top of the cliff. Finally agreed old Johnny was right. There was a little too much chalk in the soil. Well, I was trying to turn the car round near the edge of the cliff. I never was very handy with the car.
Was Johnny in the car?
No, he was a few feet away looking over at the view.
It's hardly worth talking about. Shall we all have a drink?
Go on, Vicky.
Well, I didn't realize I was backing the car towards the edge, but I was. Right up to it. If old Johnny hadn't taken a flying leap and grabbed the handbrake, I'd have been in Kingdom Come by now.
Johnny saved your life?
Certainly did. And jolly close to losing his own, too.
Oh, Johnny, how can I ever tell you what this means to me?
To you, darling?
Means quite a bit to me, too. What about a spot of celebrating? A night out on me, old bean?
Well, that's very kind of you, Vicky, but don't you have to go to Paris?
Paris?
Yes, my securities are over there. Got to go over there and cancel all the arrangements. Why don't you come over with me?
He seems to forget I'm a married man. Tell you what I might do, Vicky. I might drive up as far as London with you, take you up on that evening out. What about that, monkey face?
Well, it seems to me that...
I know. It seems to you that I ought to be looking for a job. Well, it seems to me that I might have much more chance of finding one in London than I would anywhere around here.
Yes, of course you would. Do let him come, monkey face. Lena? Sorry, old girl. Nearly put my foot in it again, eh?
That's all right, Vicky. I don't see how I can stop him.
Great!
There's an Inspector Hodgson in the hall. He wanted to see Mr. Aysgarth, and when I said he was away, he asked if he might speak to you.
Show him in, Sarah. Come this way, please.
Thank you. Mrs. Aysgarth.
Yes.
How do you do? My name is Hodgson, Inspector Hodgson. This is my colleague, Mr. Benson. We're from the county police.
How do you do, Mr. Benson?
How do you do?
Won't you sit down?
Thank you. I understand your husband is not in at the moment, Mrs. Aysgarth.
No, he's up in London for 2 days.
Oh. Well, since he's not here, I thought perhaps you might be able to help us.
Certainly. Would you like some tea or something?
No, thank you. I believe you know a Mr. Thwaite.
Yes, he's a very close friend of my husband.
It's difficult to know how to put this, Mrs. Aysgarth. Perhaps it would be easier if I showed you this in this evening's paper.
Excuse me. What do the Paris police believe caused the death?
I have a telex here from them. Thwaite visited the place in the company of another Englishman. Both men had evidently been drinking. On arrival, Thwaite ordered a bottle of brandy. According to the statement of one of the waiters belonging to the establishment, Thwaite's companion asked for the brandy to be served in large beakers. Apparently, as a result of a bet between the two men, Thwaite filled one of these beakers to the brim and drank it all. The other man was not present when the actual tragedy happened, having left the place a few minutes before. French police have not yet succeeded in establishing his identity. According to the waiter, who has a slight understanding of English, his name would appear to be Allbeam or Obeam.
He didn't go to Paris. He didn't go to Paris.
Hogarth Club.
Mr. John Aysgarth, please. When do you expect him? Left yesterday morning. No. It's not important, thank you.
Hello, monkey face. You've read about Vicky, have you? I was terribly fond of Vicky.
Were you?
Yes. I loved that silly, generous, good-hearted fool.
Did you?
Of course I did. Next to you, I loved him more than anybody else in the world.
Next to me?
Oh, poor monkey face. Here I am thinking only about myself, and forgetting all about you. You liked him too, didn't you?
I liked him very, very much. The police were here.
What did they want?
They wanted you to help them. They received a telex from Paris. It seems there was an Englishman who bet.
I know. The whole story was in the late edition. What else?
Inspector Hodgson wants you to phone him. He thought perhaps you could help him identify the Englishman.
What did you tell him? Did you tell him about the corporation?
Well, naturally, I told him Vicky was about to dissolve it.
I wish you'd left all that to me. What else did you tell him?
Nothing, just that I expected you back from London any moment.
Inspector Hodgson, please. Hello, Inspector. This is John Aysgarth. I just got home. Yes, we drove up to London together on Tuesday evening. We had dinner at the Savoy. No. Yes, then I saw him off at Heathrow, yes. No, I stayed in London until this afternoon. At my club. Yes. Yes. Not at all, Inspector. If I can help in any other way, please do let me know.
Hello, Isabel. May I come in?
Lena, how nice. I was thinking only yesterday I don't see half as much of you as I'd like.
Oh, how sweet of you. I couldn't put my light out until 3 this morning. I was so taken by your latest book, I had to come over and talk to you about it.
That's the most thrilling compliment I ever had. Won't you come in? Would you like some tea?
No, thank you.
I didn't know you were such a murder story fan. Did you really like it?
Oh, I couldn't put it down. I was especially fascinated by the way your villain...
Villain? You mean my hero? I always think of my murderers as my heroes. I didn't mean to interrupt. You were saying you were completely fascinated.
Well, when he enticed his victim to cross the footbridge, knowing full well that the footbridge had been sawn through.
And he also knew his victim couldn't swim. Don't forget that.
Well, what I wanted to ask you was this. Would it be considered an actual murder?
Well, from a moral standpoint, no question at all. 'Tis murder.
I suppose it is.
What does Johnny think?
Well, Johnny, I haven't discussed it with him.
I should think he'd be interested. Same situation with this friend of his in Paris.
The same?
That allergy business. Just like my footbridge. Now, if they ever get his companion, the question will be, was it murder or an accident? That alcohol thing isn't new, you know.
It's been done before?
Oh, yes. In real life, too. I have it here. Richard Palmer got rid of one of his victims that way. A man called Abbey.
Was he hanged?
Trial of Richard Palmer. Trial of Richard Palmer. Well, they got him eventually. After he'd killed half a dozen other people with poison. Maybe I put it under the T's.
Is it considered murder or an accident if you encourage someone to take a substance you know they're allergic to?
That's an interesting question. Supposing I ask my brother about it. He's the Home Office pathologist. You know, conducts post-mortems, all that sort of thing. I get some of my neatest ideas from him.
Oh, no, Isabel.
B.
It really doesn't matter. It's not that important. I don't want to bother you.
T. Here we are.
I'll run along, Isabel. I don't want to trouble you.
Palmer. Oh, I remember. It's in your own house.
What is?
The Trial of Richard Palmer. The book about the alcohol allergy. Johnny borrowed it a couple of weeks ago.
Bye-bye, Isabel.
Goodbye, my dear.
Hello. Well, he's not in. This is Mrs. Aysgarth speaking.
This is the Guarantor's Insurance Company. Could you tell Mr. Aysgarth there's been a slight delay replying to his inquiry? We have written to him fully on the matter, and he should get our letter by tomorrow morning.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Sarah. Did my magazine come?
And these two from Mr. Aysgarth.
Thank you.
Hello, darling. Any letters for me?
3.
Oh, thank you. Well, well, well. Letter from old Spotty. Well, well. Mind if I take my bath before you, darling? Got any more soap, monkey face? This bit's nearly gone.
think there's a bar in the cupboard above the wash basin.
Isabel, let's get back to this next thing.
Yes.
You're telling me that a fellow comes into a room, locks the door, then sits down and plays the piano. Then someone shoots him through the locked door. Is that the idea? Well, that's ridiculous. Why would he do that? Why would he lock the door just to play the piano? Is he ashamed of his playing?
Well, a certain note on the piano was wired to a revolver concealed in the wall panelling. Then, when the victim strikes this note, well, there you are.
Well, I don't care much for that. You're slipping, old girl.
And what's wrong with it, my dear chap?
Too complicated. If you're going to kill someone, do it simply. Don't you agree, Dr. Sedgwick?
Oh, yes, quite right, so long as you don't get caught.
Do the wine, will you, Phil?
Oh, yes, Izzy. How would you do it simply, Johnny?
Oh, I don't know, darling. I choose the most obvious method. The important thing is that no one should suspect me.
For instance?
For instance, poison. I choose the first one that came to mind, say, arsenic.
Ah, arsenic. I remember in Gloucester, where we exhumed a body after 4 years, and there was still enough poison in the fingernails and the hair.
Yes, but did you get the murderer?
Let me see. No, I don't think we did.
There you are.
Think of it. This very minute, there are hundreds of people who've committed a murder and they're walking about quite freely.
Thousands.
Do you think those murderers are happy, Johnny?
Well, I don't know, darling. I don't see why they shouldn't be.
Fear of discovery, my lad. So long as the bullet's marked by the barrel of the gun, arsenic leaves traces, and the tiniest hair of your head can be identified.
Yes, but it seems to me that by now someone would have discovered a poison that can't be traced. What about it, Dr. Sedgwick?
A most interesting corpse dropped in the other day.
Do let's hear about it.
Oh, no. Don't change the subject. I saw that look. There is a poison that can't be traced, isn't there?
Nonsense. No such thing.
I'll bet you know, Doctor. What is it?
Not in a million years.
Oh, come on. Do I look like a murderer?
Well, that's an interesting question. What do you think, Izzy? Izzy can always tell from a person's face whether he or she is capable of murder. Can't you, Izzy?
I don't want to sound conceited, but I usually can.
What about me? Could I murder anyone?
You couldn't hurt a fly, Bertram. Unless, of course, it was already dead.
What about Lena? She has a strange glint in her eye.
Afraid not. Lena hasn't the nerve, any more than I have. And as for you, you silly old thing, look at the expression on his face, trying to look mysterious. Well, you can't fool me. You couldn't commit a murder if you tried for 100 years.
No. I don't believe I could.
Why are you bolting the door, Johnny? Sarah won't be able to get in tomorrow.
You've forgotten, darling. Tomorrow is Sarah's day off. Darling, you're shivering again. You suppose you could be catching cold?
Yes, that's what I think it must be.
Well, I'll tuck you up in bed nice and warm. Come on, take off your coat.
No, please, Johnny, don't.
Well, this reminds me of the day we first met. On top of the hill. Do you remember?
I'll never forget it.
Well, come on, old girl. Get undressed. What are you waiting for?
Johnny, I'm in a state tonight. I don't know why, but I'd like to be alone. Would you mind sleeping in your dressing room?
Of course I'd mind.
Oh, please, Johnny, I haven't been sleeping well lately.
Oh, now I understand. You used to sleep badly when I wasn't here, and now you... All right. If that's the way you feel. Good night. Feeling better, darling?
Hello, Isabel.
How are you, my dear?
All right. I've been asleep all day, haven't I?
Isabel's brother gave you a sleeping pill this morning. Your nerves seemed all on edge. We were quite worried about you.
Cheer up. Bertram's had a good look at you, although he usually doesn't attend living people. I must say he's a very able doctor. He says all you needed was a little sleep.
I'll go and fix something for your supper.
He's 1 in a million.
Isn't he?
Do you mind if I smoke?
Have you been here all afternoon?
Naturally. Ever since Johnny phoned. Well, now, I warn you, you'd better get well, because if you leave me alone much longer with that husband of yours, my career will soon be over.
He flirted with you, I suppose.
Flirt? Worse than that. He's worming all my secrets out of me. I suspect him of writing a detective story on the side.
What secrets?
Oh, he's always pestering me, you know, and I always swear I won't tell him, and I always do.
Did you tell him anything today?
Did I? Bertram was furious. He said he'd never confide in me again. But honestly, have you ever been able to deny Johnny anything?
Never. It was about that poison, wasn't it?
Oh, don't remind me of it. I'm ashamed and mortified and disgraced. I'm just a fool, that's all. If he writes a story on that one before I do, I suppose I'll deserve it. Imagine a substance in daily use everywhere. Anyone can lay his hands on it, and within a minute after taking, the victim is beautifully out of the way, and, mind you, it's undetectable after death.
Is whatever it is painful?
Not in the least. In fact, I should think it would be a most pleasant death.
Good night, Lena. You're still annoyed with me, aren't you?
No, really, Johnny. I'm just not feeling well. I'm just not myself.
And a few days at your mother's house will do more good than staying here.
It's not just that. You don't understand. Mother telephoned me.
You got on that phone awfully early, it seems to me.
Mother gets up early. Anyway, she's feeling a bit lonely all by herself, and I happened to mention that I'm feeling a bit nervy, and before I knew it, I had agreed to stay with her for a couple of days.
All right. I'll go down and get the car ready.
No, you needn't drive me.
I prefer to drive you.
My seatbelt's broken.
Is it, dear?
A man can bear. First you toss me out of your bed, then you go running off to your mother's, and now you cringe and pull away from me as though you hated me. You're my wife, Lena.
I thought that you...
You nearly killed us both back there because you had to pull away from me when I was trying to reach out to save you from falling out of the car. Well, you don't have to put up with me any longer.
Where are you going, Johnny?
First I'm taking you to your mother's.
And then what?
Don't worry, I'll never bother you again.
What does that mean? Johnny, why did you ask Isabel about that poison?
What else is there for me to do? I'm no good to you or to anyone. I warned you before we were married. Well, you didn't get rid of me then, so I thought I'd do the job for you. In 6 months, you'd have forgotten all about me.
Why? Why would you do that?
There are so many reasons I don't know where to begin. I started our marriage out on the wrong foot. I bought things I couldn't afford to please you. Then I got in deeper. I knew Melbeck would find me out, but I was desperate. Then I made a last attempt to raise some money when I went away with Vicky.
To Paris?
No, I went to Liverpool to borrow money on your insurance, but it wouldn't work.
You were in Liverpool when... You didn't go to Paris.
Of course not. Do you think I'd have let some idiot give poor old Beaky that brandy?
Why didn't you tell me? How could you go through this with...
As long as you loved me, it was all right.
What do you mean?
Let's face it, darling. You don't love me.
Johnny.
The way that you looked at me last night. Then again this morning when you were off to your mother's.
Johnny, look at me. Do you think I could live without you?
I may have to go to jail.
No. We won't let that happen. We'll find the money for Melbeck somehow. Mother has money. We'll get it somehow.
That won't do. This is something I have to do myself.
Well, you will, Johnny. We'll do it together.
You don't understand. You'd have nowhere to live. I'd have to get a real job. You'd have no nice clothes.
Johnny, it doesn't matter. All I ever wanted was to be with you.
No, Lena.
Please, Johnny.